Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make some earrings today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the November 2024 Sam's Bead Box called Broadway Bound. I know I'm behind. I'm just now working with the November box, and we just got the December box. But this last month has just been really busy for me. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box. I'll also put a link in the description box below to the page where you can read about Sam's box and sign up for it if it's something that you're interested in. I have a coupon code, it's Teresa, and that'll save you $5 off your first box if you sign up. So I've got 5 pairs of earrings here that I've made. I've made one of each pair, and I'm going to make the other one on camera here with you all. These are all fairly easy. There's a little bit of wire wrapping involved in a couple of them, and that's not my favorite thing to do because I'm not very good at it, but it's not too bad. This first pair are using the Czech glass floral barrel beads. They're 8.5 by 15 millimeters, and they're jet black gold. And then I'm using the little comedy and tragedy drama masks charms that came in the box. I used the sad one on this one. I'm going to use the happy one on the other one. So I'm going to make the mate to this one. So I've got a piece of my 22 gauge German style wire. It's about a 3-inch piece of wire. I'm going to take my pliers and go down about 1 inch. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Take me around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Keep the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Like that. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my nip loop. Bring this wire down, and of course you can open this loop and directly attach your charm to it if you want to. I just decided to use a jump ring to attach it. I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire 3 times. And that wrap is not as tight as I would like it to be. See if I can tighten it up there a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to take my barrel bead and put it on here. And I'm going to take my pliers and go to the very tip of the pliers because I don't want a very long neck. If I go to the very tip of the pliers, whenever I do my wraps up here, I'll end up with 3 wraps just like I have down here, so that's why I go to the very tip. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Round those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back till it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this piece of wire under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Now I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Just be careful to get that first wrapping under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop, which I end up doing quite often. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. And then I like to use these crimping pliers, the little half circles at each end, to tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire, and I didn't cut that wire off enough. There's too much of it left there. I can get a hold of it. There we go. Now I'm going to tuck in my little burrs. Now I got a little 4mm jump ring here. Open it up, thread on this link that I made, and my little mask. Close my jump ring back really well. And now I'm going to take my pliers and open up my ear wire. And thread my little mask on, make sure I thread him the right way. And close my ear wire back. So there's my earring to go with this other earring that I had already made. So hold on, I'll get my next pair. Okay, for my next pair of earrings here, I'm using the Czech glass Brio square diamond Greek key, 19mm jet black gold. That's the bottom one there. And then the top one is the Czech glass ornate rectangle, 11 by 12.5mm red crystal gold. And I've got a piece of 22 gauge German style wire here. This is about 4 inches. I need a little extra because I'm going to do some wire wrapping here, and like I said, I'm not very good at it, so I'm going to put my wire through here, and I'm going to leave about 1 inch on this side, and I'm going to bend the wire up along the side of the bead like that, and I'm going to do that on this side until my wires meet above the point of the bead there. I just want to make sure not to get it too close because I want my bead to still be able to move. So now I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to take this short piece and I'm going to bend it down like this, straight across like that. And I'm going to take the long piece and bend it straight up like that. Kind of make a little L there. I need to make a better L. Okay, now I'm going to take this short piece of wire and wrap it around the long piece of wire 3 times. That, and I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. Make sure I get enough cut off this time. I've not been doing a very good job today with that. And now I'm going to put my rectangle bead on here. Then I'm going to take my pliers and go to the very tip of the pliers. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. And on those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Get this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring this wire down. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers, tuck in my little burrs. I'm just going to open my ear wire. And thread on my earring. Close my ear wire back. So, that's that one to go with the one I already made. So now I'll get my other pair. If y'all are wondering why I don't just go into the next pair and why I stop every time, it's because I have to get a little blast of heat. Because if I've mentioned it on videos before, I don't know if you've heard me, but I don't know, I have some kind of something going on. I have to have this little space heater next to me all the time. I cannot stay warm. I think the doctor's going to check my thyroid. He thinks it might be a thyroid problem, but the heater that I use makes noise, and I am afraid if I run it while I'm doing the video, y'all won't be able to hear me. I've had people tell me that I have a soft voice, and I'm afraid that you all wouldn't be able to hear me. I'd hate for y'all to struggle to have to hear me. I had a very sweet lady tell me one time, though, after one of my videos, that she uses a space heater too, and that if I get a radiant heater that it wouldn't make noise. So I have ordered one, and I can't wait for it to get here. Because when it gets here, won't make any noise, and I can run it while I'm doing these videos, but that's why I keep stopping every time. So I'm going to get a little blast of heat, then I'll be back. Okay, for this next pair, I've got the Czech glass table cut square 15mm red crystal bronze, and then the Czech glass table cut starburst flower 12.5mm red crystal bronze. So these are just super easy. I've got a ball head pin. I'm going to put my square bead on here. And I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. You get a hold of them. Bend the wire back till it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take a short piece of wire under until, or the piece of wire I put under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring this wire down. my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Off better. I'm just having a time today getting my wires cut off close enough. I'm going to take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burr. Now I've got an eye pin here. I'm going to open the eye of my eye pin. Thread on my little dangle. Of course you can do this part separately and then attach the two pieces together, but I find it easier to open the eye pin and to do it ahead of time. If you get this bead on here, if I can find the hole. When you get this bead on here and get your loops made and everything, sometimes it's kind of hard to open that eye because that bead's in the way. It makes it a little bit hard to open that eye and attach it to your little dangle down here. So that's why I do that. So now I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to make a simple loop this time. So I'm going to go, and I need it to face opposite the loop down here so that my earring will hang right. I'm going to go just a little bit above the bead because I don't want to crack my bead. I'm going to bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to cut off here and leave about 1/4 of an inch of the pin here. Take my round nose pliers, go to the end here, make sure there's no wire sticking out on this side, and I like to go down pretty far on the barrel to start my loop. And then I go up here to the tip to finish my loop. And my loops were not hardly ever well, I think that turned out all right. They're usually not facing the way I want them to, but I think it turned out all right that time. So now I'm going to take my ear wire and open it up and thread on my earring. There's that earring to go with this one that I already made. So now hold on, I'll get the next pair and get another blast of heat and I'll be back. Okay, for these earrings, I'm using 2 more of the Czech glass starburst flower beads. And then I've got the Czech glass pear brio. They were jet black and clear crystal, and of course I've got the black ones here. They're 12 by 15 millimeters. So I've got another 4-inch piece of wire. I'm going to put my wire through my bead here. Leave about 1 inch on this side. Bring my wire up along the side of the bead. And bring this wire up along the side of the bead until they meet over the point. Make sure it's not too tight. Now I'm going to take my pliers and bend this wire straight across and this wire straight up. I'm going to take the short piece of wire and wrap it around the long piece of wire 3 times. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire, I'm going to take my flower, put it on here, I'm going to take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, round those pliers in the crook of the bend, round those pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, this part up and under until it hits the bottom of the tool, kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead, take my bent chain nose pliers and hold onto my loop, bring this wire down, my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. I'm just going to open my ear wire. And thread on my earring. Close my ear wire back. So there's that earring to match this earring. So now I'm going to get my last pair of earrings and get another blast of heat and I'll be back. Okay, this is my last pair and I saved it for last because it's not hard. It just is a little bit, takes a little bit longer to do this one. So I've used the deco chandelier component here that came in the box at 16 by 25 millimeters, and then at the top here I've got some of the 3.5 millimeter Czech glass English cut beads. The color is jet black vitriol / gold, and then I've got some of the Czech glass fire polished drop beads. Some of they're 6 by 8 millimeter, and some of them are jet black, and some of them are red silk bronze. And I'm using both colors here. So I've got some ball head pins here and a bunch of eye pins. So I'm going to take one of my ball head pins and put one of my black beads on here. And I'm going to take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Almost dropped a pair of pliers in the floor. Take my round nose pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part and turn until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Take this part down. my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. And just wrap until there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Got that wrapped pretty close to the bead. I'm going to take my crimping pliers and tuck in a little burr. Now I'm going to take an eye pin and open up the eye pin. Thread on my little drop bead. Close my eye back. I'm going to take one of my red drops, put it on here, and this time I'm going to make a simple loop. I'm going to go a little bit above the bead so that I don't crack my bead. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Take my cutters and cut off, leaving about 1/4 of an inch of the pin. Take my round nose pliers and roll back a loop just like I did before. My loops are not hardly facing the same way. I usually have to take 2 pairs of pliers and straighten them up when I make a simple loop. I'm just not very good at simple loops. Now I'm going to take another eye pin and open up the eye. And thread on what I've got made so far. Close my eye back. And now I'm going to take one of my little English cut beads. And then I'm going to do another simple loop. A little bit above the bead so I don't crack my bead. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Cut off and leave about 1/4 of an inch of the pin. I'm going to round those pliers and roll back a loop just like I did before. And those loops are not even remotely close to each other, facing the same way. Turn those around. Okay, now I'm going to make 2 more strips like this, just like I did this one. And then when I come back, we'll attach them to the chandelier component. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got all 3 of my little strips made here, so I'm just going to attach them to my chandelier components. I'm going to take my pliers and open the eye at the top of my little strip I've made here and thread it onto one of my loops. Close my eye back. Just going to do that with all of these. Sometimes it's hard to see which side opens. Okay, so they're all on there now, so now I just need to open my ear wire. And thread on my earring. Close my ear wire back. So there's that earring to go with this earring. So I'll try to figure out a way to get all these together. I think I'll try to find something to hang them on. They look better hanging than they do laying on my bead mat, so I'll see what I can find. I'll be back. Okay, there are my earrings made with some of the beads that came in the November 2024 Sam's Bead Box called Broadway Bound. Hopefully soon I'll get caught up. I couldn't find anything to hang them on, so I just had to go with them laying on my mat here like this. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description box below that will take you to the page where you can read about Sam's Box and sign up for it if it's something that you're interested in, and that coupon will save you $5 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.